Right now, someone you just met is deciding whether they like you. And it's not about what you say. It's about something far more primal, something that happens in the first few seconds before a single word leaves your mouth. Most people spend their whole lives trying to be liked by saying the right things, but the people who are instantly magnetic, they do something completely different. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is. 1. The name echo. Here's something strange about the human brain. The sweetest sound any person will ever hear is the sound of their own name. Not a compliment, not "I love you," their name. When you use someone's name early in a conversation, something shifts. Their brain lights up, literally. Studies in neuroscience have shown that hearing your own name activates regions of the brain associated with self-identity and social behavior. It makes the other person feel seen, acknowledged, recognized as an individual rather than just another face. But here's the trick most people miss. You can't just say it once and forget about it. The real power comes from weaving it naturally into the conversation. Not every sentence, that would be creepy, but at key moments, when you greet them, when you ask a question, when you say goodbye. "It was really great talking to you, Sarah." That one line does more work than 30 minutes of small talk. And there's a shadow side to this. Manipulators know this trick too. Sales professionals are trained to repeat your name deliberately. So when someone uses your name a little too often, a little too smoothly, pay attention. It might be warmth, or it might be a strategy. 2. The curiosity lean. Most people listen with their ears. Magnetic people listen with their entire body. When someone is talking and you lean in, even slightly, you send a signal that words alone cannot deliver. You're saying, without speaking, that what they have to say matters, that they matter. Psychologists call this active listening, but the body language component is what makes it powerful. A slight forward lean, uncrossed arms, eye contact that holds without staring. These micro-signals bypass the logical brain entirely and speak directly to the emotional brain. The person across from you doesn't think, "Oh, they're leaning forward." They just feel something. They feel heard. And here's what most people do instead. They lean back, they check their phone, they glance around the room. These tiny betrayals of attention are registered instantly by the other person's subconscious. You might be listening to every word, but if your body says otherwise, trust is already cracking. The trick is not to perform listening, it's to actually become curious. When you are genuinely interested in what someone is telling you, your body follows naturally. The lean happens on its own, and that authenticity is what people respond to. 3. The warm mirror. You've probably heard of mirroring, matching someone's posture, their gestures, their energy. It's one of the oldest rapport-building techniques in psychology. But most people do it wrong. They turn it into mimicry, and it feels fake. The real trick is emotional mirroring. When someone tells you something exciting, your face lights up. When they share something painful, your expression softens. You don't copy their arm position, you reflect their feeling. This is what separates a warm connection from a calculated performance. Research from the University of California found that people who naturally mirror emotions, not movements, are rated as significantly more likable and trustworthy. The brain has mirror neurons specifically designed for this. When you reflect someone's emotional state, their brain interprets it as empathy, as safety, as "this person understands me." And hey, if this is making you think differently about the people around you, hit subscribe. We cover this kind of thing every week.
But here's the dark side. If you mirror someone's negative energy without realizing it, you can spiral together. Emotional mirroring without boundaries is how you absorb someone else's anxiety, anger, or sadness. The trick is to mirror and then gently redirect. Match them first, then slowly shift toward a calmer, more positive state. They'll follow you without even noticing. 4. The gift of going second. Here's a psychological trick that almost nobody talks about. When you meet someone new, resist the urge to talk about yourself first. Instead, ask them a question. Not a generic one, a real one. Something that shows you're paying attention. What's keeping you busy these days? Or what's been the best part of your week? When you let someone speak first, two things happen. First, they feel valued. In a world where everyone is fighting to be heard, giving someone the floor is a rare gift. Second, you gain information. You learn what excites them, what frustrates them, what they care about. And when it's your turn to share, you can connect your experience to theirs. That's not manipulation, that's emotional intelligence. Studies in social psychology have found that people who ask more questions during a first conversation are consistently rated as more likable. Not because questions are impressive, because questions say, I care about your experience more than I care about impressing you. And that is magnetic. The shadow side? Some people use this as a deflection tactic. They never share anything about themselves. They keep asking questions to stay in control while remaining emotionally hidden. True connection requires both sides to show up. 5. The unexpected honesty. This is the most counterintuitive trick on this list. In a world full of polished small talk and rehearsed answers, one of the fastest ways to make someone like you is to say something slightly vulnerable. Not oversharing, not trauma dumping, just a small, honest confession. Honestly, I'm terrible at these networking events. I never know what to do with my hands when I meet someone new. I'm trying to get better at remembering names, so help me out. What happens when you say something like this? The other person's guard drops instantly because vulnerability signals trust. Your brain interprets honesty as safety. If someone is willing to show a small imperfection, your subconscious calculates that they're not a threat. They're not performing, they're real. Researchers have documented what's called the vulnerability loop. When one person shares something honest, the other person feels permission to do the same. And in that exchange, a genuine bond forms faster than hours of surface-level conversation ever could. But here's the catch. This only works when it's real. Manufactured vulnerability, the kind where someone scripts their imperfection to seem relatable, backfires spectacularly. People can sense performance. The moment they detect it, trust doesn't just fail to build, it actively breaks down. Here's what all of this comes down to. Being liked isn't about being perfect. It's not about having the funniest joke or the most impressive story. It's about making the other person feel like they matter. Use their name. Listen with your whole body. Reflect their emotions. Let them go first. And be just honest enough to be human. These are not tricks you perform. They're habits you build. And once they become part of who you are, you won't need to try to be liked. People will just feel it, and they won't even know why.